In 1994, Serge Monas claimed that NASA and the United Nations were trying to abolish traditional religions and national identities so they could create a totalitarian one-world government. Welcome to Project Bluebeam. This is one of the most intriguing and controversial conspiracy theories out there, folks. Is it possible that global elites and governments have a plan to fake the second coming of Jesus Christ in coordination with a fake alien invasion, all in an effort to subdue and control the population of Earth and install a one-world government? That sounds pretty ambitious. The bottom line is that we probably possess the technology to pull this off. The question is, what would it take for you to believe in something so extraordinary?
Are you not curious?
Preparing to transfer the Ryan files. Now.
I present to you, with great intrigue and wonder, the Ryan Files.
Serge Monas was a Canadian journalist, poet, and essayist who developed the idea of Project Bluebeam through his lifelong research into government surveillance, mind control techniques, and the potential for global manipulation by elite groups. Project Bluebeam has become a veritable collection box for many different conspiracy theories over the years. And once you understand the four main phases of Project Bluebeam, you'll understand why. So let's dive in. Phase 1. Breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. Religions have stood the test of time and have given humanity hope when all is lost and a point to rally around in good times and bad. In order to effectively take over the world, it would be paramount to undermine and discredit all existing religious beliefs. Think about that. Easier said than done, unless you had a plan in place and the technology to pull off a sinister trick. Now, Monas claimed that earthquakes would be strategically triggered in specific locations around the world where it would be possible to discover new archaeological artifacts. What would happen if a bunch of ancient scrolls were discovered that claimed Jesus was never crucified? Or an ancient tablet was discovered that clearly states a major religious figure was an extraterrestrial being? And these kind of artifacts would provide new insight and information that would challenge traditional interpretations of religions like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Now, of course, these planned earthquakes would require advanced technology. Monas claimed the technology existed back in the 1990s, and today many believe that HAARP, or the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, is capable of weather modification as well as generating seismic activity, and seismic activity in the world is on the rise. Between 2009 and 2015, there was nearly a 30,000% increase in seismic activity in the Texas and Oklahoma region of the United States. Could this be due to the testing of new seismic control systems? Additionally, deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, are also connected to artificially created seismic events. If Phase 1 was pulled off successfully, it would certainly create widespread religious confusion and conflict, leading people to question their faith and become more susceptible to manipulation by a new global order. And when you look at the potential seismic technology that already allegedly exists today, Phase 1 is plausible. Let's move on. Phase 2, a massive space show. Creating a fake global scale visual event in the sky that simulates the appearance of religious figures and events sounds like a massive undertaking, but if it was successfully pulled off, it would absolutely dismantle existing religious structures and beliefs. Amidst the mass confusion created, in a single moment, people would believe their religious figures were advocating for a new unified world religion, paving the way for a new global government or messiah. Would this even be possible to pull off? The first question is, do we have the technology? To implement Phase 2, advanced holographic projection technology would need to be used to create large-scale 3D images in the sky visible across different parts of the world. The images projected would depict images of religious figures like Jesus, Buddha, or Muhammad speaking to different regions of the world in their own languages. The idea would be to present these figures in a way that each region's population would recognize the figure as their own savior or prophet. The holograms would then merge these images into a single universal figure representing a new global religion. This would signal that the old religions have been misrepresented and now must be unified into one. But do we have this kind of technology? The theory suggests the use of satellites equipped with laser projectors capable of displaying realistic images in the sky. The projections would be augmented by sound waves or voices transmitted directly into people's heads using extremely low frequency or ELF waves or very low frequency VLF waves, making it seem as if the divine figures are speaking directly to them. Many believe that Elon Musk's Starlink system is the system that will be used to pull off the worldwide holograms. As of September 2024, there are approximately 6,977 Starlink satellites that have been launched into orbit by SpaceX. This is part of the company's goal to deploy a massive constellation of satellites to provide global internet coverage. The keywords there are global coverage. And if you think this is out of the realm of possibility, just remember that back in the 1960s, during the Cold War, the CIA devised a plan to project a large glowing image of Jesus over the sky of Cuba, appearing to speak to the Cuban people. The objective was to capitalize on the religious beliefs of many Cubans by making them think that Jesus was directly calling for the overthrow of Castro's regime. And this information comes directly from various reports and declassified government documents. Additionally, ELF waves are a type of electromagnetic radiation with frequencies ranging from 3 to 30 hertz that some claim can be used for mind control, communication, or psychological manipulation. The use of these ELF waves was allegedly one of the techniques used in the MK Ultra program, a covert CIA research project focused on mind control and interrogation techniques between 1953 and 1973. We have Starlink in place to deliver the holograms. We've had 60 years to improve the hologram technology that was presumably available in the 1960s. We have MK Ultra technology and ELF waves. While a great deal of coordination would be required, I think that Phase 2 is once again technologically plausible. Phase 3, artificial telepathic communication. This concept was touched upon in Phase 2, but Phase 3 takes it a bit further. Basically, Phase 3 is designed to create the illusion of communication directly into people's minds, convincing them that they are receiving divine or supernatural messages. Now, if done successfully, this technique would manipulate people into believing they are being contacted by divine entities or higher beings personally. This would further weaken their connection to established religions and authorities and make them more likely to accept the New World Order. The delivery method for this form of communication would require technology that enables the transmission of voices directly into people's brains, making them believe that they are hearing messages from a deity or an extraterrestrial entity. Now, once again, using ELF or VLF waves would be an option that we are familiar with today. Monast claimed that these signals could bypass regular sensory channels and enter the brain directly. But there are other technologies that existed back in the 1990s that have surely been improved upon today, such as military experiments related to synthetic telepathy or voice-to-skull technology. Heck, I use skull induction headphones all the time, where the sound literally resonates inside my head. And there are other real-world technologies like microwave auditory effect, which could theoretically produce sounds directly in a person's mind. And again, keep in mind this is old technology. Just imagine how far it may have been developed today. There is also the possibility that our cell phones, along with 5G towers, could be used as a delivery system for this kind of communication. 68% of the world's population has a cell phone, making a massive communications network that includes your own personal access point, i.e., your phone. A Phase 3 message tailored specific to you and your religious beliefs could be transmitted from your personal phone directly to you. Can you imagine hearing voices in your head delivering messages from your preferred religious entity that call for peace, cooperation, and allegiance to a new global authority? And of course, all these objectives would align with the control the New World Order was seeking to establish. There are multiple technological avenues to make this phase work. So once again, I have to believe that this phase is totally plausible. Phase 4, a false alien invasion or supernatural event. Humanity is in crisis. Religions and faith are dying or dead. Everything is pushing humanity into a new world order. Some join immediately. Some are hesitant. Some resist. Just one more thing is needed to galvanize the human race. An existential global threat. Enter an alien invasion. How many times has this topic come up on this podcast? Many, and for good reason. You don't have to look far to see it all around, from the recent soft government disclosure about UAP to the conditioning over the past 80 years in books, movies, and television. An alien invasion is coming, and the world is being prepared to accept it. I personally don't believe in aliens from other planets in our universe, but that's just me. But I do believe that humanity has been given great technology in order to accomplish the objectives of Phase 4. And that technology has been gleaned from another dimension referred to as the spirit realm. So how do you fake an alien invasion? Well, we already talked about the use of holographic technology and the satellite delivery system that's already in place. But in addition, advanced drones and/or human-built UFOs from advanced military dark projects could be deployed over major cities worldwide, just like you've seen in the movies. Advanced satellite-based weaponry would be seen as alien firepower, a technology that was first made public early in the 1980s during the Reagan presidency. We have seen how the media can push a narrative. We've seen how governments facing a crisis will give warnings, lock things down. How easy would it be to fabricate evidence with the use of fake news? Riots, panic, confusion would all spark up around the world, and AI and deepfakes, and with that, it would all be undeniably believable. Think about that. This is all very plausible today in our modern world. And for good measure, why not throw in some simulated natural events such as the sudden appearance of miraculous signs, celestial phenomenon, or the awakening or return of ancient gods or entities like perhaps the Anunnaki. And the final nail in the coffin would come from the technological malfunctions, perhaps created by the alien invasion. What happens when global communication networks, financial systems, and other key infrastructures are sabotaged or made to appear malfunctioning? What happens when there's no water, no food, no way to buy or sell, no heat in the winter, no fuel for transportation? Think of the fear. Think of the uncertainty. Think of the chaos. And then think how quickly most of humanity would leap and beg at a chance to join a one-world government that says it could fix the whole mess, solve all the problems, provide safety, and a chance to survive. And at that point, this government would have the authority to control all aspects of human life, fulfilling the goal of the New World Order. Is this plausible? Absolutely. And I think if you take a moment to think about it, we've seen all these aspects of Phase 4 appear in the past few years, from the government admitting to the existence of UAP, to fake news, to the rise of AI and deepfakes. The potential for Phase 4 exists all around us now. Overall purpose of the 4 phases. According to this theory, the 4 phases are designed to systematically break down all existing religious and social structures, create confusion and fear, and ultimately manipulate humanity into accepting a unified authoritarian world government. The The New World Order, led by a single leader or ruling elite, would have complete control over global affairs, economics, religion, and even the thoughts of the global population. I don't think there's any question if Project Bluebeam could work. I think it's a well-devised plan that would break down even the hardiest of human beings and social structures. And me personally, I think that technology exists right now, today, to implement the plan. Now, many would argue that while grounded in real scientific concepts, we are far from being able to achieve the desired outcomes on a global scale, and that we haven't developed this level of technology to date. But that argument really makes no sense. By nature, Project Bluebeam would be using technology that was secret. And don't forget, all of this technology was already developed decades before Project Bluebeam was ever proposed. In the final analysis, Project Bluebeam's biggest issue is that it relies heavily on the assumption of a massively coordinated global conspiracy among all major governments and institutions under the rule of a small group of global elites. And that's a mouthful, folks, and one of the main reasons why many think this theory is all but debunked. Serge Monas died of a heart attack in his home in December of 1996 at the age of 51. Though some to this day suggest he was actually assassinated. Is Project Bluebeam real? I have no clue. But after researching this episode, I do think it's plausible. So what do you think? Is Project Bluebeam real, ridiculous, plausible? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments and during this week's Friday Night Mic Drop. Join us. I will say it is fascinating how Project Bluebeam has some similarities to what the Bible refers to as the rapture and the second coming of Jesus Christ. And perhaps that is a topic that I will take on in the future. Thanks for tuning in this week, friends. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. Share it with those in your circle. This is one of those topics that everyone should be aware of, no matter what you may think of it. Stop by theryanfiles.com, friends, and join our community by becoming an agent of the Ryan Files. We cannot wait to have you. Thank you. You folks are the best. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have an amazing week. Stay curious out there, my friends, and I will see you right here next week on the Ryan Files.
The Ryan Files.
Ben, just lay down, baby. If you want to be in the episode, that's fine. Just lay down. It's bath time. Just lay down, baby. Lay down. Yes, that's what people want. It's midnight. Let's do it. Of course, these planned earthquakes would require advanced technology. Monas claimed the technology existed back in the